Today I'm going to talk to you about how I communicate and deal with clients. So I am a freelance graphic designer and YouTuber, so I've spent the last 3 or 4 years conversing backwards and forwards with freelance clients, so people who want logos or poster designs, anything like that, simple little projects. And also I have communicated with big brands, PR agencies and things like that. So over the years I've kind of learned the best way for me to communicate with clients, so hopefully I'll give you a few little tips if you are unsure, and let me know if you want any other videos of me sitting down chatting to you, giving you some tips and advice. But without further ado, let's get going. So I think the most important thing for me is to chat to the client in the most comfortable way to you. So personally, I hate phone calls. I absolutely freak out at the thought of having a phone call with someone, especially when I'm like the lead person. Like I have to sound like I have my together when I just don't like phone calls. So I have always conducted my business via emails. Every so often I will have to have a phone call, but as a freelance graphic designer, for all my graphic design work, I've always done it via email. You will find sometimes people might prefer having a phone call, so just like take it case by case and see which way your client prefers. But whatever you do, make sure it's just a way that you're comfortable with, so you can conduct yourself in a professional manner and not get too stressed out about it, which is exactly what I would do if I had to do it on phone calls. Going on to something similar to that, even if you do like doing phone call conversations with your clients, you need to follow it up with something in writing. So write down some notes as you are on the phone call, anything you've agreed to, any questions they've answered, etc, etc, and then type it all up into an email and send it them. Just title it "Following our phone call, here are the notes from there," or "Here is what we have agreed in our phone call," something like that, obviously in a more professional manner. And then you know that you've written down exactly what was said, and then if anything goes wrong later down in the line, or you have a little bit of a disagreement or wires get crossed, you can always go back to your emails and see it written down. Make sure you send that email as soon as you hang up, pretty much like within the same day, so that your client can review that email and confirm that whatever you've written down as notes is correct. One thing that I have definitely learned is to ask a lot of questions. So for kind of commissions or logo designs, I ask a lot of questions. Initially, I used to just put them into an email. I had a generic email thing that I used to send to people. In fact, let me get it up. I don't send this to people anymore, but this seemed to work really well for me at the time. So if you want to take this and make it your own, go for it. So I had 4 different kind of basic email templates, I guess. So one was for commissions, one was for drawings, one was for a YouTube banner because I had an influx of people wanting those, and then one for logo design. So they basically come from the same idea. It just tells them the price that I do them from, could you send me a photo of what you want me to design, any ideas, and then explains how I'm going to deliver that design to them, how long it's going to take, and what the process is of like approvals. So for example, let's read the logo one. So I charge from £70 for logo design. This obviously differs every time I send it. What I ask for is some examples of logos that you like the look of, so I can get an idea of your style. Then I will draft up some ideas and go back and forth between designs until you are 100% happy. I ask for the full payment amount beforehand via PayPal or bank transfer. Let me know if that's of interest to you and we can get started. Kind regards, Alice. So that is just my blanket email that I will send out to someone who has asked for a design, because generally the emails that I get from clients are, "I've seen your videos, can you make me a logo?" And that's all the information I get. So I'll send something out like that. That was what I used to do. It has changed a little bit, so I don't instantly give them a price. I want to ask some questions before I give them a kind of quote, because it does depend on what the logo is, the complexity of it, etc, etc. So now I actually use Google Forms, I think it's called. Yes, Google Forms. And I've created a few different templates that I can send out to prospective clients, and they can answer the questions, so it gives me a bit more of an idea of what they're after. So I'll just show you through this one. So this is just the logo one. I added my branding in the background. I think I need to update the branding actually. And you'll see I've had some responses. So basically I can send a link to prospective clients, they fill it all out, and then I have that information ready if they choose to use me for their design. So email address, full name, what's the name of your business, and then some information. So I'll read them out. So what is the name of your business? If you require the logo to represent a specific product or service offered by the business, please use the name of that. So I want the exact name of the business, not a shortened one, not a nickname, the name, so I know what I'm writing. Tell me a little bit of information about your business. So what do you do? Who do you do it to? What's your target audience? Do you have a website? If you do, give me a link and I can have a look, etc, etc. What is the purpose of your logo? So I basically want to know if you are going to print this logo or if you're going to keep it online. That just changes how I save the files, that changes how big it needs to be. That just changes a lot of things, as I'm sure you will know if you've designed things before. This was a question I never used to ask, so I'm very glad I've put it in this form because it means I know this right from the start. Again, a question I never used to ask, what is the deadline for your logo? A lot of the time people don't really have deadlines, but I do like to give myself one to make sure I get it done within like the 2-week deadline I give myself, if that makes any sense. And then tell me everything that you can about the people who'll be using your product. So basically I want to know what their target audience is. Is it children? Is it mainly men? Is it mainly women? Is it teenagers? Just so I can get a feel for who is going to look at that logo and who it needs to appeal to. And then competitors. So anything that looks similar to what you do and you've seen and kind of like the look of, give me some links and then I can get an idea of what kind of vibe it is, but then also not do something exactly the same as someone else who does what you do. And then what do you like? So this is the bit where I ask my clients to upload images of things that they like the look of. So basically I'll just tell them to go onto Pinterest or look at existing logos and send me as many as you like that kind of spark some interest, and usually they'll all have a bit of a theme, and from that I can kind of merge all the ideas together and create their very own logo. I like to have some kind of thing to base it off of. So if they send me a logo that's really floral and girly, then I know to go along that route. If they send me quite a professional, straight lined, clean cut logo, then I can go along that route. And then because I film videos, I just ask people if it's okay if I share the logo on my channel. So Google Forms has helped me out so much. I can download the responses in little PDFs and save them on my computer, so I usually refer back to them. From this I will work out the pricing. Honestly, the prices differ every single time. It depends what project I am doing, but I like to go onto a thing called New School or NU School, and it allows you to price projects based on what you'd like your hourly rate to be, how long you think it's going to take, and what value that project is to your company. So again, I will show you that. So I literally have it bookmarked in my kind of bookmarks and it's how much should you charge. So it's really simple. I'll go through it. So let's go. What's the project? So I am making a brand design. I'm going to do a logo. Click next. Who's the client? So is it a private client, a small to medium business, or a large corporation? Usually mine are private or small, so I'll just go for private. What's your hourly rate? This is something that I struggle with, so if anyone watching this has any information on how to generate an hourly rate, I really don't know what mine is, so I will kind of guess. So let's put £15. And obviously you can change the thing, you can calculate it, and you can see average rates. Usually every time I go onto this website I click average rates and try and work it out. Not gonna lie, not figured it out completely yet, so if you want to help me out with that, please do. How many hours do you estimate on working? So how many hours would it take me to make a logo? Let's say maximum 7. Like, that's gonna be a very difficult logo to make. Is the project interesting? I think this is really cool because you can price it depending on whether it interests you. So if it's an amazing project, if IKEA want you to design a logo for a new range of furniture, then that's an amazing project. So I'll click awesome project, and then go down, and after this project I will hate myself a little, nothing will change, it will look good in my portfolio, my life might change. So obviously if I did the IKEA job, it will look really good on my portfolio. next. And then it tells you based on what hourly rate you put in, the hours you put in, etc, etc, and it gives you a price. Obviously if I did a job for IKEA it would be charged a lot more than that, but for an individual small business job they've charged it at like 150, so it kind of gives you a bit of a ballpark figure. I like using that. If there's anything you guys have found that helps you price projects, please let me know, because I'm always looking for something to help me. I have a very itchy nose right now. Hay fever is killing me. Okay, along with pricing the project, you obviously need to send invoices and decide how payment is going to be made. So generally, for freelance projects, I just do it via PayPal. I've just found it the easiest way. Most of the time I've done it all up front just for security. So I will ask, so say if I charge £60 for a commission, I'll ask for the whole £60, and then I give them like 5 opportunities to make changes to the design, and then once they're happy I send them it. I've never had an issue with that, but that sometimes can put people off. So another thing I've done as well is done half and half, so I've asked for half of the amount beforehand and then half when I've completed it. The one thing I don't do is send invoices, and again, fellow designers, if you do this a different way, let me know. But I have had a bit of a track record with companies for YouTube jobs sending me money late, because usually I'll do the job, send off the work, and then send them an invoice, and then they have 30 days from that date to pay me. And a lot of the time they don't pay on time. So that's why I like to do it differently. I like to not release the final design to my clients until they have paid me. So they've seen the final design, so I've come up with this cute little logo, we've gone back and forth, they've finalised the design, they really like it. They've seen it, but in a very small format, something that they can't reproduce, something that they can't run off with without paying me, but they know it looks nice, they know that they like it, they've 100% signed it off. I will not send them that design until they have completely paid me. And I think that's fair. I don't think freelancers should have to wait 30 days, especially for like small little projects like that. Maybe when you're working with a big corporation, they don't work that way. I know they don't, but I've not had that situation yet as a freelance designer. So for now, as I'm using like small individual companies and businesses and stuff, I'll do it like that. I won't release the artwork until they have paid me. But long story short, if you want to do invoices, I have sent invoices previously. I send them to my YouTube clients. So I use a website called QuickBooks. They have an app as well. I've spoke about them so much, and they have an invoicing system. So as well as keeping your taxes up to date, they have invoices. So I'll show you it now. I'm going to blur the numbers out because obviously that's personal, but up here you can create an invoice and you can add their name, email, address, all the basic information that you need in an invoice. The number, the date you want it to be, like the date you want to be paid, all of your bank information and the amount, obviously. You can add work in different sections, so you can do it hourly rate by item, and you can add different items. So I highly recommend trying out QuickBooks. I think they do a free trial for so long. I tried the trial and then didn't look back ever again. I've been paying for it ever since. So highly recommend that. If you can't afford QuickBooks, it's only £7 a month, but if you're just starting it off, that's obviously a lot of money to commit to. I will leave a link in the description to an invoice template that I have on my website, so you can use invoices like that. So once you've asked for the money, set the invoices, and your client kind of knows what's going on, I like to make sure I'm defining my process for them. So I want to ensure that they know it will take me X amount of weeks or days. What I'll do is usually do a draft drawing, so I will sketch something out on my iPad or on a piece of paper, do a rough copy of what I think the logo could look like, and then send it to them. They'll then pick whichever one they prefer out of those sketches, and then I will digitize that. I explain that process in the first emails, or like first few emails, so my clients know what to expect. They know how many times I'm going to be contacting them, how many times we can go back and forth, etc, etc, and obviously when their logo is going to be ready. That applies for like commissions as well, like drawings. Set yourself a realistic timeline for sure. Like if you are pushed for time, if you are slotting this work in between uni work, in between a regular job, I guess, give yourself more time than you probably need. It's better overestimating how long it's going to take and delivering it early than underestimating it and end up giving your client their design late. I've learnt that the hard way, especially through uni, so overestimate how long it's going to take you. A final thing I like to do with clients is ask for testimonials. I've not actually done this for a while, so I need to take a leaf out of my own book, like I need to follow my own advice. But testimonials are something that help prospective clients choose you. So if they can see a genuine review of your work from an actual client, then they might be more inclined to work with you. So it's something that you can ask, like on the final email that you've sent to your client. They've paid you, you've sent them the logo, they're very happy, all is done. You can ask for a testimonial. That is my very rambly video on how I deal with clients. Obviously, I feel like every freelancer does it differently, but I would have loved someone to tell me how to do it when I first started, because I just didn't understand. That's how I do it. Let me know if you do it differently. Of course, as always, I'm not an expert. I need advice as much as you guys. So please do share anything you know in the comments. Let's have a chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye!